Hey YouTubers, this is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we have a Miele dishwasher that won't fill, and we just need to replace the fill valve with a generic fill valve. We're gonna go underneath the sink and turn off the water to the dishwasher and unplug it so it has no power. And then we're gonna be taking this dishwasher out from underneath the sink. This type of dishwasher has the fill valve located underneath the dishwasher, and we have to uninstall it. So we're going to be using a Torx 15 bit to unloosen these two screws, get those out, and we can get the kick plate off. And that can help us to make sure that the little feet on the underneath the front are all the way up into the dishwasher, and we can also adjust the back feet so they're all the way up, and that lowers the dishwasher, makes it easier to get out. So we got that off. Now we're pulling off these little plastic plugs here. We have the door open, and then we're going to take out two Torx 15 screws that are holding the side of the dishwasher into the cabinet. These are like pretty aggressive threaded screws, and usually they're Torx 15 or Torx 20 to get those out. And then sometimes, depending on how it was installed, there'll be a few screws that are holding in the top of the dishwasher too. And sometimes those are Torx screws. In this case, the person who installed it used Phillips head screws. So we're getting those out from the top. Take the other one out from the top. All right, now we can use a flathead screwdriver to move the feet to our right, and that's going to push them up into the dishwasher, which will lower the front of the dishwasher. I'm going to make as much room as we can to get it out. Usually the Miele dishwashers have enough drain line and fill line where you don't have to disconnect them underneath the sink. You can just pull the dishwasher out, and there's extra line there. So now we're turning the little screws that control the back feet to lower the back of the dishwasher down. And now I'm taking out this one-way valve here in the sump area so that I can drain out all the water that's in the sump. Pulling the dishwasher out of the cabinet, and I'm going to lay it down on its right side so I can get to the bottom panel. I'm going to remove the bottom drip panel or drip plate so I can get to the fill valve. So here's the bottom panel. Again, I'm just making sure that the water is off and that it's unplugged or the power is turned off. We're going to zip out these Torx 15 screws on the front left and front right. And we're going to be replacing the fill valve with a $25 generic fill valve instead of the $220 fill valve from Miele. And we did a lot of time testing with this, and they seem to last about 4 or 5 years, which is about the same as the 220 version from Miele. So we're getting out these two screws, and we're going to take off this little plate in the front too, because it has to release these screws to help us get off the bottom drip plate. We're going to wiggle that off, and now we have access to the fill valve. So what I'm doing now is I'm using some diagonal pliers to cut back about 4 inches up on the tube that's bringing water to the dishwasher. Cut that tube. Got now the brass elbow that comes with the fill valve that's in the description below, and I'm putting some Teflon thread tape on the bigger threads. These are the ones that are going to be going right into the fill valve. Now I'm going to just screw that into the fill valve, and then I'll get that nice and tight with a pair of pliers. I also cut the black wire that used to go to the old fill valve that used to bring it power. Now I'm pushing the hose onto the new fill valve, getting it nice and tight, and then I'll move the spring clamp down over to get a nice watertight seal. You can use a pair of pliers to squeeze in and then push it down over right next to the fill valve. So now I'm stripping back about a 1/4 inch of the insulation from the wires that used to bring power to the old fill valve, and I'm putting on a spade connector and then using my wire strippers to crimp down to get a nice tight connection to that wire. I'll do the same for the second wire. When you're putting these power wires onto the new fill valve, there's no polarity issue. You can put them on either terminal. It's okay, you don't have to worry about that. So I got the 2 spade connectors crimped on. I put those on for power. I have the water connection done. I've already connected the new fill line to the fill valve. I've ran it through the back of the dishwasher. I'm just pushing it into position now. And I'll go ahead and put the bottom plate back on. I'm just going to line it up. This filter has a bunch of black rubber debris on it, and that's the black gasket that was in there just degraded, and that probably was what was causing the old fill valve to have a problem. The customer complained that it was making a lot of noise, so may have been more than just a blockage, but may have been also that there's something wrong with the valve. It's just getting old. So we're putting all the screws back in for the bottom plate. Get nice and tight. The customer said this dishwasher was about 5 years old, and that's about when the factory fill valves will fail. Pretty common. Putting this little plate back on, adding the screws back in. Most Miele dishwashers, you don't have to remove the dishwasher to do all this. The fill valve is actually located underneath the sink, but about maybe 20% of the models have it integral to the bottom of the dishwasher, like this one. All right, we're just going to lift the dishwasher back up, push it back in. So this is how high the water should get, all the way up to the bottom of the white plastic filter handle. So that looks really good. That's totally correct. Getting the right amount of water now. And it's not making noise. It's nice and quiet again. So that is how you replace the fill valve on the Miele dishwasher. Thanks so much for watching our video today. I hope that this video has saved you some time and money. And if so, could you please press down in the video description below the donation link and send us a donation so we can keep this service going. Thanks again. And if you have any questions about this repair, could you contact me